What is up, Internet? It's your boy Tenku. And today we're going to be doing another manga that should get an anime. I come across this a little bit ago and I couldn't stop reading it. I got my hands on everything I could get my hands on with it, and I really like it. So I hope you guys like it too. So before we get started, don't forget to like those videos, watch those videos, keep hitting me up on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and comments below. And with all that said, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a manga, and Eder Senpai is probably going to hate me for this because the title's super long. It's Oretake Hiraru Kekushi Dungeon Kuroshi Kitate Sakai Saikyo. And basically in English, if you want to find it, it's called The Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter. It's really intriguing because it's set in a medieval world. And basically there's, rankings, for royalty, stuff like that. And our main character, Naru Stargra, is the lowest ranking noble there can be. I believe they call them baronesses. Basically, they're commoners that were given a nobility rank because they've contributed so much to society, to the kingdom, that they were, bestowed a title, but by blood they're still commoners, and so basically they're still treated like crap. The rest of the nobles, the rest of the ranking families, the rest of the ranking noble classes treat them like garbage because they see them as just petty commoners, because technically they were bestowed the title. And then there's some that are nice to them because they have direct relationships with them, which comes into Emma Brightness. Emma Brightness is a member of a higher ranking family, but she is Noru's best friend, childhood best friend, and their family works very close together, so their families are very close. So even though that this is a higher ranking family, they treat his family very well because they work very close together and they become friends over the years and such. And Noru and Emma grew up together, basically. And so they're very, very, very close friends. You find out that Noru has a special ability called Wise Sage, which means that it's very rare, but he basically asks a question to another being, and that being has all the answers in the world, even all the answers that might not even be of this world. The problem is when he uses it, he gets a painstaking headache so bad that he wants to kill himself. So he doesn't ever use it. They kind of find out that if Emma kisses him, that the pain subsides, and so they kind of like start doing that so he can use it a little bit. And basically what ends up happening is he was going to be a librarian, but a daughter of a higher house family wanted the job, and so they basically gave it to her because she wanted it, and he got kicked out, so he's jobless. And he can't rely on his family, or even though his family wants to provide for him, they can't because they're not rich. They're nobles by entitle only, basically. And so he decides he's going to become an adventurer, but in order to become an adventurer, you have to go to a school. And in order to get into the school, you have to pass a test, and yet there's a huge enrollment fee. Like, it's really expensive, and of course his family can't afford it, even though they say, hey, we'll figure it out, we'll get it paid for. He doesn't want to rely on his family. So, Noru decides he's going to go to a dungeon and try to get stronger, because there's dungeons sprinkled out there all over this world that has hidden treasures, items, monster drops, monster, materials, things like that you get from killing the monsters, and you can make a lot of money doing that adventure and stuff like that. So he goes to this dungeon, and he starts hearing a voice in his head, which is really, really weird. And so he keeps following the voice, and eventually he runs into Olivia Servant. And Olivia Servant is an adventurer that's been trapped in there for 200 years. Yeah, around 200 years. But she's in a hidden room that you can't get to. Nobody has ever found it. You can't get to this room. It's very hidden. Nobody ever goes to this dungeon anymore. This dungeon's hidden. He just happened to kind of figure out where it's at. And he starts talking to her, and she's chained up. So she's chained up. She can't really. She has to talk through telepathy to him, and she can't break these chains because if he releases her, the curse will activate and she'll die. So you find out 200 years ago, she's in this dungeon. She kills this monster. This monster activates a curse, chains her up, and so if the chains are ever broken, the curse activates. She dies, and she decides to give him power. And so she gives him the power, 3 great skills. A creation skill to where he can create anything he wants. An edit skill to where he can edit anything he wants. And then, I forgot what the other one was. But they work in tandem together to basically make him super OP. The catch is he uses life points in order to do that. And you only have a certain set amount of life points. And to replenish your life points, you have to be a glutton. You have to be greedy rich, or you have to be very, very good with the ladies, we'll say. The more lewd things you do, they replenish your LP and things like that. And so in order to do that, of course, Emma helps him out because he's already like making out with Emma and stuff like that to help his headaches. And so, of course, he ends up with kind of a harem where they don't actually ever cross the line, but there's certain things he does with them. The typical Japanese accidental comedy stuff happens, and of course it raises his LP. The reason why I like this, the reason why you should be reading it, is very interesting. There's a whole arc with Emma and stuff that happens to her, and he has to help her out. You meet him going to the guild, you meet him going to the school, how the other families treat him, and how his raise to fame comes up because he's really strong. He has like basically 4 of the strongest skills in the entire world, and he uses them to his advantage. And so basically he wants to go to the school, earn money for that, and become a hero. He starts adventuring anyways because they let you adventure without going to the school. The school's more of a prestige thing, but it's necessary to get like the really, 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 really well-paying hard jobs. And he wants to help explore this dungeon, beat the secret dungeon that nobody else has found, get stronger, and help release his master, Olivia. So it's really interesting. They have all those story threads going at the same time, but they're woven together really well and they're timed really, really well. So I think it'll make a great anime because, like I said, you have a lot of good arcs. The art's okay, but anime, you can make anything look good if you animate it well. But the story threads, the overall story arc about beating the dungeon, releasing his master, him getting stronger, and he's the only one that knows where this dungeon is, and there's a lot of rare stuff in this dungeon, a lot of hard monsters, and that are rarely ever seen. And then, of course, they got the comedy side with him and situational comedy he gets in. The harem aspect, me, I'm harem trash. So, it's that. And it's the stuff that kind of has to happen for his LP to raise and his max LP to raise. It gets pretty funny. And so I found myself just reading through it. I blew through everything I could get my hands on through, Bookwalker and all that stuff. But, tell me what you guys think. You guys think I'm crazy? You guys like, oh, here we go, another harem. Or, if you guys are kind of into that stuff, if you think it'll make a good anime, let me know what you guys think, down in the comments below and everything like that, guys. And remember, if you can't trust the random fat guy you met on the internet, then who can you trust? And everybody, have an awesome, awesome day.